Hello everybody, this is Pun and I have a review for you. The Fifine K688. This is a new microphone that Fifine's recently come out with. Here is the packaging, in case you were wondering. It's also called Amplitank, I guess. Anyway, very nice packaging. But this is a microphone that I think a lot of people will be interested in, because this is one of those that's under $100 that is USB and XLR. So let's go ahead and get into the review, and I'll tell you what I like about it and what I dislike about it, and I'll show you how you can get it if you're interested. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's talk about some of the features of the microphone. Obviously, you can see that the microphone comes with its own pop filter. It's actually screwed into the pop filter. So you cannot, like some pop filters, you can squeeze it and you can move the microphone around, slide it in and out. This one is hard mounted to the microphone itself. So I imagine you can unscrew it and turn the mic around. Just for an example, you can see the logo is upside down right here. That is, I think by design, this is typically supposed to be used on a regular boom arm and the microphone's underneath the boom arm. But because I'm using it on a low profile arm, I have to sit it like this and the logo's upside down. Okay, so you may be able to unscrew it and then swap it around inside the pop filter. I haven't really tried. It's not such a big deal for me, but something to be aware of if you are one of those people that are particular about your logos and how they are they sit on the microphone. This comes in with a built-in pop filter. Now, I'm not a big fan of this pop filter. It is extremely thin. Fifine on their website actually says that it's quite robust. I disagree. I think it's kind of flimsy, to be honest with you. But I have tried the PodMic and filter that I bought for it, the pop filter on there. I will show you that, and you can kind of listen to it there. By the way, you are listening to raw sound. There is no processing on this mic right now, other than maybe a little bit of gain in post to get it up to the level that you need to hear it, to be able to hear it well. But currently right now, setting in OBS with the gain. Let's see, that's at 40% gain right there, and it's peaking just below -20. So 60% gain gets you at about -15 to -12 inside of OBS on the dBFS meter here. All right, so on the back, you also have these two knobs here. One is for your headphones. The other is for the gain down here at the bottom. Now, those are only for the USB mode. In XLR mode, you're dependent on the preamp of the audio interface. So for me, I'm using the Wave XLR. All right, so let's talk about this microphone. What comes in the box? All right, first of all, this box is very nice, as you can see, but it gives you package contents right there. Obviously, the microphone and the shock mount come with it. You get an adapter, a 5/8, a 3/8, a 5/8 male, a 3/8 female that you can use for your mic arm. You get a 2.5 meter or 8.2 foot USB-C cable. That is right here. Very nice. You can see it there. USB-C on one end and A on the other. Nice cable. This actually works really well for dual PC, or if you're doing console, if your console supports USB microphones. This is quite long and will give you all the reach you need for most people. Pop filters installed here. This is a great thing. I'll pull this off. Sorry about the noise here. This is what it looks like. You can see how thick it is. All right. I'll put it back on there. Obviously, you can see the capsule here. Now, the frequency response for this microphone, they do publish their own response graph, which is nice. They have, this looks like a pretty hefty cut below about 120 hertz, actually. It drops down -5 dB at about 90 hertz, it looks like, or maybe that's 80, 20, 40, yeah, at 80 hertz. And so you got a nice little high pass filter that's already pre-tuned. There's a little bit of a cut at about 150 hertz. Looks to be about maybe 2 dB, maybe 2.5 dB. There's also a slight cut right at 200 hertz. That may be half a dB or dB at the most. But after that, for the most part, it's pretty flat all the way up to 1 kilohertz. And then you start seeing this semblance boost. So you're seeing really around 2K up to about, between 5 to 7K. There's a really heavy boost, even up to plus 10 dB at about 6,500, it looks like. And then after that, probably I would estimate probably about 13,000 to 14K. You see a pretty steep low pass filter added that cuts out some of that airiness that you may have on some condensers. If you have a very sibilant voice, you have very strong S's, this might be a microphone that you need to really be, think about though, because it could be very harsh and it might need you to do a lot of EQing to get it to sound better for you. So the sensitivity is actually pretty high. It's minus 58. They're saying minus 58 plus or minus 3 dB. For instance, the Wave DX, which is another dynamic microphone that just come out, I think the sensitivity there is actually minus 52. And I think the, lower the number, actual better the sensitivity is, which means you just don't need as much gain. Frequency response they're actually saying they're saying 70 to 15K, which is pretty representative. They're just looking at the 6 dB roll off here. If you were to look at the minus 5 here, that's what they're saying is right around 15K and then right around 70K or 70 hertz. Max SPL of 130 dB. Now this is a 16-bit up to 48 kilohertz sample rate and bit depth. So it does not go up to 24 dB, 24 bit. I'm sorry. So I would not necessarily be concerned with that for live streaming. It's not such a big deal. If you were doing professional level audio recording, then you might consider looking at another microphone. But for live streamers and gamers and even amateur podcasters, I think this will be fine. All right, so now let's see what it does for background rejection. So we'll check at the different axes here. This is on the right side of the microphone, 90 degrees. This is on the left side of the microphone, 90 degrees. And this is directly behind the microphone. All right, so now let's test the shock mount. So I'm going to bump the mic arm here. All right, I'm going to bump the desk. All right, so now let's go ahead and we'll test a couple of other microphones. First of all, let's test the Samsung Q2U. So let me get that plugged in here. Okay, so now I will switch between microphones. Now, right now you're currently listening to the Q2U, again, unprocessed audio. Now this is USB mode. So I have the gain set. So I'm getting roughly about the same level inside of OBS as the Fifine K688, but they're about the same distance from my mouth. So they should be, pretty good comparison between the two. So this is the Q2U, and now we're listening to the K688. So you can kind of just hear the differences between the two microphones. So the Q2U obviously is better designed to be up here like this, closer to your mouth. It does have the same controls as you would normally have. Now mine's broken. I've lost a button here. This microphone is like 5 years old by now, and it's been through the ringer. So hopefully I can find the button. I'm kind of wondering where it's at actually. So you have headphones on the back here. Obviously you also got your XLR and of course the USB, which is currently plugged in. All right. You also have an on-off switch on the front of this too. So you can just kind of get an idea of what they both sound like. They're roughly about the same price also on Amazon, again, depending on how you catch the sale. Okay, so this is the Rode Pod mic, also running through my Wave XLR. Obviously, I had to unhook the K688 to be able to compare it in the same signal chain as the Rode Pod mic. But this is the Rode Pod mic cardioid dynamic broadcast style microphone, and retails right now I think right at $99 on Amazon. It's been basically the same price since it come out. But this is what I consider my workhorse microphone. It's what I use a lot in the studio here, so you can just kind of get an idea what it sounds compared to the 688. Now this is also the Rode Pod mic, but what I've done is I've added the pop filter. Since the K688 has a pop filter, I figured I would add it to the Rode Pod mic, and you can listen to the difference that it makes with the Rode Pod mic. Definitely makes this microphone sound a little bit darker, more broadcasty, kind of what like the SM7B would sound like. So just get an idea of that. Now what I will do is I will actually put this pop filter on the K688 itself, and we'll see what it sounds like. Okay, so now we're back to the Fifine K688 through the Wave XLR normal pop filter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. So let's go ahead and do a quick plosive test since I'm going to do that. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Boy, I said that bad. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. All right, so let's switch pop filters. Okay, so this is the K688 now with this pop filter that you can buy on Amazon. I'll provide a link down in the description below, but it does fit a variety of broadcast microphones, including the Fifine K688. So this is what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and do a plosive test. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Okay, so now I have the Fifine K688 hooked up through USB and XLR. So I can swap between the two and you can hear the difference between it with USB. Now, here's what I've had to do to get the level to match with the XLR. For the USB, I had to get the gain on the back of the mic all the way up to 100%. And then it's about 60 inside of 60% in Windows Audio. And then I've added 6 dB of gain inside of OBS to get the level to the same as what it is in XLR, just to give you an idea. So you may be hearing some extra noise right now from the USB mode portion of it, because typically if you have to max out a preamp to 100%, then the noise floor is going to get really high and you're going to get a lot like static kind of sound in it. Trying to give you that idea. So this is just a comparison between the USB and the XLR. And since I'm here in USB mode, I will go ahead and I will turn the capacitive mute on. All right, I just wasn't mute, and you can see how that works. Okay, so after listening to the unprocessed USB compared to the XLR, the USB definitely has a lot thinner sound. You lose some of the low end. Obviously, it sounded, like I almost lost probably 20 hertz, a good drop off of -6 dB. Almost like you're adding a high pass up to like 100, 120 hertz. All right, so I have gone and listened to the audio recordings that I've done testing the K688, and I actually like overall how it sounds. Really, for under 80 bucks, it sounds really good. It is nice and broadcasty sounding, not too harsh in the low end, a little bit of semblance there that I'm, in the presence, like a presence boost that I'm not necessarily all that happy about. It's just not for me personally. Well, what I did find out is by putting this pop filter on there, it actually darkened the microphone a little bit to more of a sound that I like. It took some of that presence out of it, which is actually really cool. Just an idea. And I haven't even added any processing to it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of processing in that I've done. I've just messed around with a little bit with this EQ. Now this EQ that I'm getting ready to apply has about a 3 dB cut at right at 80 hertz. A relatively, high Q, so it doesn't, or a low Q, so it doesn't really, just cut 80. It just kind of rolls off there pretty easy. And I've got a couple different cuts at about 450 and then again right at 1K. And those are again about 2.5 to 2 dB cuts that I'm trying to cut a little bit of the boxiness out of my vocal. And then this one has no presence cut, but it does have a little bit of a shelf added, and it goes up to about 2 dB to add a little bit of airiness to the microphone. All right, so what I will do now is I'll go ahead and add that. Okay, so the EQ is now added. Now, you shouldn't notice a ton of difference. It shouldn't be like, whoa, holy crap. But it should be subtle. There should be a little bit of difference as you hear. Definitely wear headphones to compare the two. But so that is the EQ added. Now this is a compressor that I've gone and added. You should notice that it's going to cut the volume down just a tad. I don't really have any makeup gain added to this, but what I wanted to do is just kind of level out the audio for this microphone. All right, and it gives it a little bit more of an analog sound. This is actually an LA2A plugin that I'm using for this compressor. And then the second one or the third one is a de-esser. Now this de-esser also adds a little bit of saturation and a little bit more of an overall boost. This is the Sweet Vox plugin that actually previewed on another video that really I like a lot. So now you're hearing all the processing that I have added for this mic chain, so you can kind of hear what a processed audio sounds like for the K688. That is it, everybody. I do appreciate you watching. Listen, if you've got any questions about this microphone, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think about it, what you liked, what you disliked, what you think they could do better. Fifine is listening. Trust me, they are a great company. I've been working with them now since the beginning of this channel. And this is, I think, the third or fourth microphone that I have worked with them on. And I do appreciate them sending me this. They did send me this microphone for free. I'm not getting paid to do this. It's not a sponsored video per se. They have no input on this, on my opinion on this microphone. I'm giving you what I think, unbiased, but overall, I'm actually pretty pleased with the overall sound of this microphone, especially for the price. And I think this is a great option for somebody that's just starting out for live streaming, and they want a microphone that's going to last them for a long time, and it's going to give them the flexibility that they can later upgrade into an XLR type interface that they can still use this microphone for. And it comes with everything that you need right here in the box, really. So well done, Fifine, on another quality microphone, especially for the price. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about frugal deals. So this is definitely a frugal deal. Again, link for the microphone will be down in the description below. It is an affiliate link, so just keep that in mind. You are helping me out a little bit by clicking on that, but it doesn't cost you a thing. So other than that, if you enjoyed, thank you. Subscribe, please. Hit the like, hit the bell for notification. You'll have a video goes live. And then other than that, thank you for watching. Have a great week. We'll see you later.